Hey, what's up everybody? So we are back on the M109. Got a couple things here, just trying to start a conversation. So, some stuff that we've done to this bike or are going to do to this bike are, obviously we're going direct air. That's a topic for discussion. We have the Matt Guthrie cams, the Weber cams in the head. We did just the intakes, and this was off of Matt's suggestion. Now, I know Matt, you're gonna watch this video, and I know you're not a fan of this, but this customer wanted to see what it does, and so did I, sort of. I can't remember, there was a gentleman on Facebook who had said back in the day he researched it, and these air cleaners are the size and volume that replaces the stock airbox. And the part number and stuff is on them, but I can't remember what his name was, so props to him. We did have to make a couple changes because when these came, the stack underneath them wasn't long enough to reach the throttle bodies. So we took the old throttle body rubber parts out of the old box, and I don't know if you can see that real well. And we added them to the bottom and fastened them, and then they were long enough to reach down to the throttle bodies. What we found was this, unless somebody comes up with a resistance or something to show, this has to be working. It's connected to each throttle body on each side. It's the idle control valve, and the bike would throw a code unless we had this plugged in and properly. So we need to figure out a way to mount that. I've seen some pretty cool people make some pretty cool plates on Facebook, so I'm sure it'll be somewhere along those lines. And then obviously we changed up the exhaust system that was on this bike. I don't know if I would call that a true 2-in-1, but it's what we're working with. It made this style exhaust made quite a bit more power, and the bike handled a lot better. And obviously, it kind of gave the bike what it wanted on a different M109, but same style exhaust system. So we're pretty excited to see what this bike does. We did get it fired up today. I took the tank back off. So we got the big air cleaners on here, deleting the air box. And while I don't profess to be more than a parts replacer, this air box conversation, the stock air boxes, as we all know, go directly on the side. And in the stock form, there's a hole in the back of them, and that's the only air that is allowed into the air box, and that gets pulled into the engine. That hole is on the back side. So the people that are saying that you're drawing hot air into the engine through these versus even the stock air boxes, to me that argument's a little invalid, because with the stock air boxes that you're literally pulling hot air from the cylinders. There's cooler air up here than there will be in behind here. So that's a topic for discussion. We're gonna see. Everybody that I've talked to that has ran this setup or something similar to it has been impressed, and the bike has not responded in a negative way. So that's what we're gonna go with, and we'll find out for ourselves. Obviously, this is something that we wanna test ourselves, and you can see how big these air cleaners are from K&N. We've got a little bit of work to do as far as cleaning it up, fastening everything. My thought process is, since there's more room under the tank, that's going to allow for more airflow coming from the front of the bike. And yeah, it might not seem like much, but there's a little bit of a crack here on each side for the tank, plus the air coming up underneath right here. So going down the road, I think you're definitely going to have better airflow than even the stock boxes on the side. So, but we will see if the bike performs like other bikes that have had this mod perform, then you can't really argue with that. And obviously down the road, we'll check the wear of everything and see how, if it truly is sucking a bunch of hot air into the engine, how that wears. So, little preview. We are doing some other stuff. We are installing, from Woolwich Racing, we're installing a pit limiter. So basically you hit the button and the bike will two-step at a certain RPM. And we are also installing a quickshifter from Woolwich Racing. The guys I've talked to that have ran these quickshifters say the bike shifts smoother. I would imagine that it saves the gears, being as it cuts the fuel and ignition at the right time, as long as it's programmed correctly. So I would imagine it would save the transmission, and with the intake cams being done and this modification, we're probably gonna need everything we can get to help the transmission hold up. We know the cylinders will. This isn't the first time that these mods have been done. It's the first time that we're doing them and first time we're testing them, so it's gonna be pretty interesting. So stay tuned and thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.